Okay, let's get started. Now we are discuss about the Poetics by Aristotle, chapter 18. Suggestion continued. The two parts of plot, complications and denouement, different kinds of tragedy, purity of stories, the chorus. There is a further point to be borne in mind. Every tragedy is in part complications and in part denouement. The incidents before the opening scene and often certain also of these within the play, forming the complication and the rest the denouement. By complications I mean all from the beginning of the poem just before the changing in the hero's fortunes. By denouement, all for the beginning of the changing to the end. No, it's right when one speaks of a tragedy as the same or not the same as another. To do so on the ground before all else of their plot, as having the same complications and denouement. Yet there are many dramatists who often a good complication faith in the denouement, but it is necessary for both points of constructions to be always duly mastered. There are four distinct species of tragedy, that being the number of the constituents also that have been mentioned. First, the complex tragedy, which is all peripety and discovery, the tragedy of suffering. For example, the Ajax and Aeneas. There, the tragedy. Third, the tragedy of character. For example, the Pathidios and Peleus. The fourth constituent is that of spectacle. Experience the very emotions represented by the poet. It would be good for the poet to walk out the emotional which the very gestures of his characters or persons. If the poets experience the very emotions which they want to present in the character of their play, they would be able to present them more conceivingly. The writer who experience the tragedy or passion which he wants to present would be able to delineate these emotions in a like manner. He would be able to assign appropriate behavior and speeches to his character. Aristotle does take into account poetic inspiration. Critics have often missed this observation of Aristotle and regard him as having missed the soul of poetry. Make an outline first. The third thing to do is to make general outline of the ocean action to be represented. Then would come the addition of names and episodes. Here Humphrey House remarks that Aristotle doesn't mean insert episode, but that he means make into episodes. This is quite possible. First, the poet is to form a general outline of the action and then episodes it or make into episodes. In this respect, the poet become a maker or a craftsman. It must be noted that the term episode is the technical term for the event and incident in the play. The episodes, however, would be casually connected with each other. After this comes the factor of giving proper names to the person in the play. The giving of proper names to characters is also an important aspect of the process of dramatic constructions. The assignment of names determines whether the drama will be fiction, myth, or history and provides guidance in characterizations. Chapter 18. In chapter 18, Aristotle continues with his suggestion on the practical aspect of writing a tragedy. The plot is divided into two parts, the complication and the denouement. Complication and denouement. The fourth element that the poet should keep in mind while writing the play is the complicated and the denouement. Many dramatists see Aristotle manage the complication well enough, but fail when they come to the denouement. But a good dramatist must manage both equal well. Exemplified in the Proceedus in Prometheus and all plays with the scene laid in the netherworld. The poet's aim then should be to combine every element of insight, interest, if possible, or else the more important and the major part of them. This is not especially necessarily owing to the unfair criticism to which the poet is subjected in these days. Just because there have been poets before him strong in the several species of tragedy, the critics now expect the one man to surpass that which was the strong point of each one of his predecessors. One should also remember that has been said more than once and not write a tragedy on the epic body of incident, one with multiple story in it, like attempting to dramatize, for instance, the entire story of the Iliad. In the epic, owing to its scale, every part is treated at proper length. With a drama, however, the result is very disappointing. This is shown by the fact that the poets who have dramatized the whole story of the fall of Ilium instead of selecting portions like Euripides, or who have taken the whole tale of New and not a part of her story like Aeschylus, either fail, altering or met with poor success on the stage. Even Gotham has been known to fail from this one defect. Yet in their peripeties as also in their simple plots. The plots, I mean, showing wonderful like skill in aiming at the kind of effect they desire are tragic situations that arouses the human feelings in one. Aristotle analyzes the plot to denouement and complications from the spectator's point of view. By complication, Aristotle explains is meant all that occurs from the beginning of the story to the point just before the change in the hero's fortune. Denouement includes everything from the change to the story's end. The complication frequently includes certain incident external to the action proper of the play, but these incidents are presupposed in the drama and effect the development of the piece. Therefore, Aristotle admits that some external event form part of the dramatistic entanglement. It's owing to this practice that Greek tragedies often being at a later stage than do modern plays. They begin almost at the climax. The action proper is highly compressed and concentrated. The forms the last moment of a longer action hesitating to its close. Four species of tragedy. Aristotle lists four species or kinds of tragedy. This division is made on the basis of the source of the tragic event. Are the four constituent elements of tragedy. First, there is the involved or complex tragedy. This has parity or reversal and anagnorises or discovery. The second species of tragedy is that of suffering. In this kind of tragedy, there are scenes of suffering, painful events are depicted. There are scenes of murder, wounding, tortures, etc. Its effects depended upon the piteous and fearful incidents. The third species of tragedy is that of character. In this type, the nature of the characters or agents is the most important source of tragedy effect. It's worth nothing that Aristotle doesn't regard this type as great. Fourthly and lastly, there is the tragedy which depends for its effect upon spectacle. This, according to Aristotle, is a tragedy of a great order. In this type, the element of spectacle is of paramount importance. The tragic effect evolve out of fantastic scene and sensational effect produced by actors. Their customs or other mechanical artifices. The adventures are fantastic. The figure gigantic and scene of actions is frequently the neither what. Each kind of tragedy depends on one of the elements that constitute tragedy. The dramatist is advised by Aristotle to until all these interest to heighten tragedy effects. Unity of action. The chapter reminds the writer to keep to a single action of on one tragedy. Throughout the poetic, Aristotle emphasizes on the point of having a single action in tragedy. Like the clever villain, Sisyphus, deceived, or the brave wrong door bursted. This is probable, however, only in a Gotham scene. When he speaks of the probability of even improbabilities comes to pass. The chorus too should be regarded as one of the actors. It should be an integral part of the word and taken a share in the action, that which it has in Sophocles rather than in Georgides. Okay, do like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.